Now, listen to this. Mayor Baraka was arrested Friday at a new federal immigration detention center where he has been protesting against and was held in custody for several hours. I like the vibe that I'm getting. It's as if the peasants managed to illegally detain and humiliate an aristocrat. This is kind of the vibe that you get on Twitter. All of a sudden, we don't hear the mating call of the Democrat that nobody is above the law, above it, no one is above it. Instead, we get, oh my goodness, they have arrested a mayor, a sitting politician. Last month it was, oh no, they have arrested a judge. They arrested a judge. Okay, like apparently now, nobody is above the law unless you're a judge or a Democrat or a person that's literally above the border fence of the United States as you're hopping into that nation illegally. If you're part of those categories, okay, you're above the law. Everyone else should know the laws, should follow the laws. Like, seriously, no. What do you think would happen to your mother? Okay? Your mother. If she was to go to a federal immigration detention center that is operating legally and would be trespassing, and despite the warnings, she would insist. Now, my question is, like, what would happen to your mother? Should it be the exact same thing that what would happen to a sitting politician? I think yes, if you actually believe that nobody is above the law, I think that the exact same treatment that is applied to your mother should also be applied to
Baraka.
Anyway, the mayor says that he could not speak about his case, citing a promise that he made to lawyers and the judge. All of us here, every single one of us, I don't care what background you come from, what nationality, what language you speak. Baraka said that at some point we have to stop these people from causing division to us. Okay, so let's recap for a little bit, right? Like let's put all the ideology horseshit behind us and deconstruct what's happening. Let's strip it to its bare bones. You have a legally permitted detention center run by a private company under contract with ICE. And the mayor goes in there, stages a protest, and he is allowed to do that. No one is stopping him from staging the protest. But when he is trespassing, when he is being warned, it's like, hey, this is government property. The law applies to you as well, buddy. He ignores all of the warnings and then gets arrested. And how does he justify that? Well, he feels that he has oversight authority. And so if he feels that he has oversight authority, she should be able to trespass. Okay, so we ignore the fact that the detention center has permits. We ignore the fact that the detention center most likely has passed inspections. We ignore the fact that it's part of a legal $1 billion contract, but no, a Democrat feels that he has oversight authority. Now, don't get me wrong, maybe he does. Maybe he actually does have oversight authority. But don't you think that the party that worships procedure, like the left venerates institutions and procedures and permits and all of those things, don't you think that they should respect the system? And if you have oversight authority, you should apply it within the system? Not by staging a protest and then trespassing? Because I'll tell you what, if you manage to get your ass arrested, I won't feel sympathy. I will feel that justice has been made. Why? Because I imagine that if I was there and I did the exact same thing, I would get arrested too. And so I would find it unfair if I get arrested and you don't. Isn't this like what it means to, equality under the law? Like, put yourself into the criminal shoes. See, this is why they say that right-wingers don't have empathy. Because we actually do. We try to put ourselves into the criminal shoes. We try to put ourselves into the shoes of a gang member that's like part of a violent criminal organization and is committing crimes in the United States, and now we're getting deported. And we're trying to think, like, can we put ourselves into that shoes? Yeah, like, what would we do? Well, we wouldn't have committed the crime in the first place. And so you have no empathy, you have no more sympathy, because if I was in their place, I wouldn't have even gotten into that situation to begin with. Now, here's the interesting part. If you're a cynical person, like if you're a cynical Eastern European person, and you see what happened here, your conclusion isn't that this is a person that's compassionate and cares about illegals and doesn't want immigrants to be deported and is a champion of human rights. No, what I would say is that this is a very cynical person. He's a politician. He's got a group of smart people that are advising him, that are trying to manipulate public opinion and manage how people think, and he's got PR companies advising him. And what this is about is, well, he's running for governor, and this is an easy way to manipulate leftists to vote for him. Minimum effort, you're not making any change, you're not doing anything, because this is what leftists like to see. They like to see activists arrested by the cops to say that they are fighting the system when they themselves are part of the system, like the man is the mayor. And look at this interesting thing, right? Like, he aggressively pushed back against the construction and opening of the 1,000-bed detention center, arguing that it should not be allowed to open because of the building permit issues. In other words, he feels that it should not have been open. Now, you can have feelings that are true, right? Like, I can feel that there's something wrong, and maybe there is, but there is a legal procedure through which you actually operate. Like, if you expect that buildings shouldn't operate with a permit because the system, the bureaucracy, right? The paperwork is important. Like, the paperwork is so sacred, and so if a building actually exists in real life, but it doesn't have the paperwork, it should be destroyed, that's fine. But then work within the system. Get your own paperwork. Go to the judges. Like take the matter legally. You do not get to trespass. And even then, right? Even then, let's say that the building was actually functioning without the paperwork. If you manage to trespass and you go in there, what exactly are you expecting to accomplish? Like, the only reason that you would go in there is to get arrested. How is he a victim? Like, what happened to him would happen to literally everyone else. And then the wife says, oh, they didn't arrest anyone else. They only took my husband. Well, because from what I saw in the footage, no one else on planet Earth, not even Jesus Christ himself, has trespassed besides the mayor. Now, let's assume that most people did and it wasn't recorded, so I didn't see it. It's possible, right? Let's say more people trespassed. Yeah, you arrest the head that is inciting the crowd. This is riot control one-on-one. Like, when you're doing riot control, you want to cause as little damage to the public and accomplish what you're trying to do. In this case, they were not trying to prevent the protest. They were trying to prevent people from trespassing. And so if you arrest the head of the protest, well, all of a sudden, everyone goes home, which is pretty much what happened. So where is the victimhood? Like, what exactly did transpire here that I'm missing and I think is wrong? Huh? Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong with this? Like, everyone on Twitter is sparking out and it's like, oh, look at fascism. What is this fascism? You had a building that is operating legally, and even if you would say it's operating without a permit, until you prove that in court, until you go through the legal system and you prove that your side is correct, it still benefits from innocent until proven guilty. So you have to prove that it's operating illegally. And you don't do that in front of the cameras. You don't do that in the court of public opinion. You do that in front of the judges. Which I understand in the United States, they're sacred. Because like a couple of months ago, they arrested one and everyone was freaking out. And it's like, well, the judicial system is sacred. Well, if the judicial system is sacred, then surely they're going to fix this, right? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.